Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to yet another Hero House Reviews. A treat today is a review what I believe to be our first ever Neca figure. Now, Neca is a line that I have a very love-hate relationship with because they do some amazing sculpting, but I've never really been impressed by their articulation or their quality control. Like, I have another Neca Predator, the Scar from Alien vs. Predator, and he came with his sort of, bomb hand attached in the wrong direction. So I couldn't put his claws in properly, so that sucked. And there's like nothing I can actually do to fix that. And then I got a Kratos, like their ultimate God of War 3 Kratos, and he came with an arm that was fixed and could only bend backwards and had been sculpted wrong. So there was nothing I could do to, fix that issue either, which really sucked because I love Kratos and, the figure looks great otherwise and did have good articulation. Now this guy, when I opened up out of the box, I assumed they've done it, this one doesn't have any issues. Unfortunately, the hand you can see attached now, this bad mama jamma, was the hole to put it on the peg to swap hands was too small. So I had to, manually use a hairdryer to make it malleable so I could attach it. So that's 3 for 3 figures that have had something wrong with them. So it's really colored my opinion of Neca as a company, as a toy company, because I've never had any issues, issues so continuously. Now let's see if the rest of the figure can live up to, improve this situation. Because, let's get in there. Let's just get in there. As you can see, the sculpt on everything is just insane, especially for the price point. Like, these guys will set you back not too much more than your average Marvel Legends figure, but that level of sculpting is absolutely insane. And then beyond that, you just get so many accessories as well. I mean, this changes over. I'll show you in the pictures. So you can have a different weapon. Instead of a grabby claw, you can have a proper harpoon. You've got another hand that's smaller. You've got a shield that isn't activated. That's meant to be like an energy shield effect. And you can have it non-flared out. He comes with a fist for that hand as well. And he comes with a malleable cable. So you can have the harpoon firing and being fully extended. So that's absolutely insane. And then the mask can, come off. So it itself is an accessory. And then you have this amazingly well sculpted, hideous, but beautiful in terms of artistic detail Predator face underneath, which, unbelievably, also has a light up feature, which isn't going to show on the camera. That's unfortunate. Maybe the battery's dead, it was a bit low. But basically, it did work when I took it out of the packet, and you get from his eye the 3 laser beams that the Predator, caster normally has. And while we're talking about that, this caster is on a joint on his back, so it comes up, and then you can aim it forwards. So, that itself is articulated. That's great. That is a really well thought out figure in that regard, and it just looks incredible. Now, unfortunately, articulation in the hip region is hindered by the armor, and his balance is not great. Might just been the pose I had him in, actually, because he settled down real good now that I have him standing upright. This is supposedly an articulated hand, but, his fingers only swivel to the side, they don't bend forward. So if, you imagine we had fingers that could only splay rather than grasp, that's kind of a useless hand. God, looking at him in the camera now, he's such a great figure in terms of how he looks. It's just that armor hampers his articulation, and I find this with a lot of the Predator figures is that armor, because they're such bulky designs, they haven't really found a way to keep that dynamic movement. around the armor. He's got like ab crunch, and he's got thigh swivel, waist swivel, head on a ball joint, you know, bicep swivel, wrist swivel, double jointed elbows. You know, all the joints are there, and I appreciate that they're there, but the figure has not been engineered and sculpted in a way that allows it to fully exploit the presence of those joints, which for such an amazing figure in every other way is a bit disappointing, especially since they've put out over 20, I think, Predator waves at this stage, or they're getting close to it. And considering that's kind of their bread and butter, you'd think they'd find a way to make them viable. You know, they're just amazing statues with some minor articulation at this stage, which I guess, you know, considering what you're paying for, you can't be too sad about. But if you're a, you know, die-hard collector who loves to move their figures, like I do, then it is just a bit of a bummer and, you know, brings the whole atmosphere down. But he just does look phenomenal, which makes it hard to judge. I mean, I can't give him a perfect score. For all his value and as good as he looks, the fact that I had to, again, deal with poor quality control, and the sculpt doesn't let him move that much, means he can't be more. I'd give him a 4 out of 5. If you like the Predator figures and you're not bummed out by articulation, you're going to absolutely love this. You know, I'm going to say that only knock against him is that complete lack. Well, not complete lack, but weak articulation, because sculpt-wise, he's phenomenal. Accessory-wise, he's incredible. Gimmick-wise, he's passable. Yeah. An amazing figure, 4 out of 5, hampered only by that lack of articulation. Alright, let's dive into some photos, show you all these amazing accessories he comes with, and then we'll wrap this bad boy up. 1 second. And there you have it, folks, the Neca Lasershot Predator. As you can see from the photos, he just looks magnificent, and the attachments are incredible. In fact, it's strange, but he looks so much better when he's kind of dressed down. Like, the mask clips onto his face, but not very tightly as far as I'm concerned. I think, you know, they would have been better off just making it an extra head, because it sits a bit weirdly around the jaw. But then again, his mask is cool, but his face is so much better. And the shield, the color is nice, but again, he looks better in kind of this plain, unarmored, lower tech form, because he is a very visceral looking character, and I think removing that armor and making him more raw just adds to the effect that his armor conveys. That could just be me, it's a preference thing, of course. You know, the harpoon effect is phenomenal to attach to. Like, I was really pleased with that picture. I'm pleased with him now. I love how he's standing. He looks so much better like this, you know, sans helmet. I've had him helmeted this entire time, like sitting in my living room, but I'm going to leave him like this now that I've done the review. I'm going to pack away those extra bits and just have him raw because I love him like this. I'm tempted to bump him up to a 4.5, but, you know, me preferring this aesthetic doesn't, you know, take over for that lack of articulation. He still just doesn't move that well. As you can see from the pictures, I couldn't get too dynamic or creative with the position he was in because he is so limited by that bulky armor. Now, again, if that's not an issue for you, go ahead, you've got a 5 out of 5. If you do care about articulation, he's not perfect. So yeah, depends on what you're looking for in your action figures. Now, if you want to see more, we have plenty of reviews. If you want to see the action figures in action, we have Figure Fights and Hero House. I'm going to tell you now, this dude will be in our next Figure Fight video. It will be Predator versus, it might be Red Hood, but more likely it's going to be the figure we review next. So keep your eyes out for the next review and you'll be able to piece together what the next figure fight will be. Other than that, thanks for watching, all the best, please like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!